It has genuinely been a while since I sat here and did one of these. I don't mind it. I think it's fun. I get to watch League and I don't have to play it, which means I can guilt-free make fun of everybody else. It is going to be a live game, which I like. There were like a ton of replays I could have done, but I just decided against it because one, there's a wild factor to this. Like I could look at replays and decide just based on the scoreline, this is a total stomp one way or another, and therefore uninteresting to cast. When it's live, it's a total wild card. It could be a total stomp, or it could be like this super close hour-long game. You never really know, and you get to experience it live, which makes everything so much more fun. Even if you haven't actually seen all the inner workings of a game, you just see the end scoreline, and you can pretty much surmise some points of the game and like what happened where. But when it's live, it's so much more exciting, and I like it better that way. So we're gonna get into the game now. The Spectre delay has, for the most part, worn off. So we have Jax Darius top, Olaf Sett jungle, Malzahar Veigar mid with MF Blizz against Ashe Senna. Pretty traditional picks all around. It is a Veigar against Malzahar lane at mid, which I personally find to be a pretty interesting matchup here. Malzahar shoves pretty hard and Veigar doesn't really like getting shoved very hard. I'm not quite sure who is supposed to counter who in this lane, just from a lack of experience for the most part. From the top of my head, I don't think Malzahar has a terrible time against the Veigar. His passive does make it so that you can walk through Event Horizon, and having Silence as well as Malefic Vision, aka Space Aids, does make it so you can walk through, well, not walk through, like shove back against the Veigar pretty well. If you keep a Veigar losing CS, you should be fine for the most part. That's the Senna Prestige Edition skin, the Louis Vuitton version. Reportedly, it looks amazing because, you know, Louis Vuitton designed it. I haven't actually seen it in game, so I'm interested in seeing how it actually looks. We're getting into the game now. Just gonna do the standard, turn the bad parts on, the good parts off. Wait, no. Bad parts off and good parts on. First Drake in this game is Cloud. Alright. Let's look at the Senna skin. Alright. I'm not really into like modern fashion or whatever, but I can dig the aesthetics. Looks okay, I guess. Alright, mid. They're gonna plan for an invade with the Blitzcrank. We're moving in pretty early on. Pings are going down. They're gonna walk through this ward. It's a fresh ward and it's gone stealth. So they know this is coming, but blue team doesn't. They are gonna wrap around. They assume that they haven't been detected yet. Oh, there's gonna be an ambush. This setup here is gonna be spicy. Malzahar is up front. He has a shield. They're gonna jump on the Blitzcrank. The stuns are coming out. Blizz flashes into the middle of the team. That's gonna be first blood given out, and that is disaster. Space Ace taking the second kill. Sett dies second. 2 for nothing. And blue team gets fully routed. They have to make their way out. Senna actually flashes over. She wants more. Ashe carries over as well. That's going to be kill number 3 onto Misfortune. Darius recalling in the brush. They're not going to know he's there. Wow, 3 very early kills. Not the best way to start this game. And they went to all the cores too, which is just awful. Even now, Veigar getting bullied out by the Senna. Senna and Ashe did both expend their flash on the summoner side. 4 flashes blown for blue team. Really terrible engage. Blizz walking in blind and then miss flash into the entire pile of red team players. Sett, however, does do camps a little bit faster than Olaf. At least the first one. But his hook, ooh, long distance hook, finding the Ashe. Ashe no longer has flash, but neither does a Blitzcrank. MF still has it. They do actually win this trade, which is encouraging after that initial disaster. 1.6k gold lead, 2 minutes in. It's not something you often see, but that gold lead really doesn't mean anything at this time because nobody on blue team actually backed and bought. Let's look at this gold differential. Yeah. It's not as significant as the number would make it seem to be, just because no one's actually shopped yet. And it's not as significant of Ghostly to be like, buy a back-breaking item that makes you snowball early. Jax is winning the trade handily against Darius. It is still a TP Jax against a Ghost Darius. Seth's coming in, Facebreaker gets the slow. Now Jax turns and fights, Counter-Strike is going, Haymaker gets dodged out. The cone does not connect, but he also used all the tools to get in, so that's his actual flash used to get out. Cannon's gone. Oh no. Malzahar is doing what he does best, shoving the wave into the Veigar, making him miss the CS. Olaf runs into a Sett. Can he actually take this fight? I don't think it's possible for him to beat a Sett. Darius gets a kill onto the Olaf, starting up the blue team comeback. Ashe also tanks a tower shot, falls to critical health. Blitzcrank wants this hook, but there's a billion minions between them. That's a very ambitious double up. Senna's gonna try to keep the Ashe healed up. Blitzcrank no longer has mana barrier. He has to be careful. That amount of health, he can't bait with that. That's exactly how much he has left to work with. Ashe is actually not winning this lane. I kind of expect her to. But Blitz has found a really nice hook onto her early. And oh, he's gonna do it again. Walk forward with the ignite, but he's really low, so he dies without mana barrier. 1-for-1 trade so far. ADC takes down the support. And Ashe dies, but MF loses that 1v1 against the Senna. When will people learn you can't really win that trade against the Senna? Darius, this is a solo kill. No, it's not! The Darius W coming in the clutch. Taking down the Jax with a sliver of his life. I could have sworn he was dead there. Beautiful turnaround, I guess, but looking from the outsider's perspective, that was probably more luck than anything else. Veigar has actually pulled back the CS lead, which is wonderful. There's actually probably more to that than what the CS lead would actually indicate, but enough about that. Jax getting the revenge kill, teleporting him back in, and now Sett is so low, he can't possibly survive this. Haymaker shield, not enough. Jax TP's back for a double kill, resetting that very embarrassing death. And more importantly, he now has free reign in this lane for a while because Darius has to walk back. The hook lands onto the Ashe. She has to try to walk away slowly. No heal, no flash. Can she get out? MF actually has no summoners as well. Blitzcrank, one more punch will do it before the Senna heal comes down. The heal, not enough. Not the heal, the root, I mean. Olaf has made his way down here. The MF very alone, very out of position, gets caught out by the Senna. Senna picks up her third kill off the game on a killing spree. 3-0 and 3. Blitzcrank grabs the Olaf. He's under tower. He takes a second shot as well. Blitzcrank, ooh, all the supports are getting the kills. 3-2-0 for Blitzcrank. 3-0 Senna. 3-0-3 for the Senna. Darius, he's actually so quite a bit ahead of the Jax. Is that a solo kill? Just out of the blue. The hemorrhage is taking down him, but there's only 2 stacks, so he'll be fine. But it almost looked like Jax was gonna die again there. Neither really has a killing combat summoner, but Darius is still handily beating the Jax in this matchup. I always want to try like talk about random stuff when there's downtime in these games, but it never looks like there's downtime. Maybe it's just because solo queue is really bloody. Like, how do LCS commentators do it? How do they sneak in commentary about other aspects of the game while action is happening left and right? Is there just less action in LCS compared to solo queue because a lot of people are going for YOLO plays? I'm not quite sure. But regardless, Veigar still farming stacks. He does get stacks when his Q kills Voidlings as well. Now he wants is more and more AP. Veigar is an interesting character because on paper he seems so broken. The character gets primary combat stats infinitely, but in practice, not so much. The Voidling actually gets that stun. Perfect primordial burst, getting that one kill. The Blitz flash probably a little bit unnecessary. He literally just got it back too. I'm not sure what he was flashing away from. Maybe Olaf killing the dragon spooked him or something. He has been pretty accurate with the hooks in this lane thus far, ignoring the last one, which is Swift. Darius getting pounded by the Jax again, but he's actually winning these trades. The hammer stacks are running. Darius knows he can get the kill, so he flashes forward with a decimate, knocks in guillotine, chunks out a huge amount of his health. The Triumph, will it actually be enough to heal him up? The 5-stack hammers taking him down, not enough. Darius gets a little bit too ambitious for his own good, and Jax turns it around on him. Triumph healing him up far beyond the hemorrhage damage, keeping him safe there. Now 3-1-2, Jax and Darius killing each other over and over. Neither has a necessarily pretty scoreline and CS score, but I say they're both strong at this stage in the game. Olaf gonna run people down. Showstopper grabbing onto a yelling Olaf, so basically nothing happens. And now the lane resets. Blitzcrank is the sole victim. Flash forward by the Olaf. He wants his kill. Facebreaker drags him back. Ragnarok not available. But he does kill off the Misfortune. The last tower shot, not enough to actually kill him off. Triumph heals him up yet again. That was a dive that could have gone very bad. But he squeaks out by the skin of his teeth. And he's just fine. The Blizz grabs him back. He has a stopwatch, but this is a very compromising position. Olaf is just farming free kills down here. Blue team quite literally running it down. The Puke comes down top lane, and the Darius, very awkward, very alone, gets killed off by the Malzahar gank. Veigar will respond by pushing waves up to the mid turret and taking plates. But speaking of plates, they're not winning the tower race, because the first tower that's going to go down this game does appear to be bot lane's turret. This is still such a healthy wave, and bot lane not going to come back in time. This tower, less than 600 health remaining, is about to go down. It has lost so many plates that is sitting on a lot of extra armor, and it doesn't actually go down. And now Ashe is out of position. The hook just barely whips, so now she is safe again. Will she actually go back in? She's trying to lay down some pressure, getting the minions out of the way. This is such a low turret. I think they're gonna greed for it. Senna has longer range, so she's gonna abuse it. The Mistwraith grapples onto the Misfortune, forcing her back. One more shot will do it. That is first tower. Senna actually gets the entirety of that gold. Ashe is so far away, and she didn't even hit the plate for the assist. The Senna does get grabbed in. MF picks up a 700 gold shutdown. I can't talk. Ashe shooting minions instead of the champions, and MF grabs a much needed double kill shutdown. However, first turret was the cost. Olaf runs in and dies for Primordial Burst. I suppose. And now Sett is going to try to grab onto Malzahar. The Voidling once again giving it away. Twice now Malzahar has died due to his own Voidling, guaranteeing a Facebreaker stun instead of a slow. And now suddenly this game, despite how awful it might have seemed in the offset, is actually looking up and up for blue team. The Herald is actually going to get the counter kill onto the mid turret, which is a much more important turret to take. Darius is still not necessarily winning against the Jax in this lane anymore. Oh, it's going to get a second charge too, which is just juicy. Olaf's going to clean it up from there, but that's not enough. The leap strike, counter strike kills off the Jax, kills off the Darius under the tower. Jax taking a little bit too many tower shots, but he'll be just fine. And now he gets some alone time with this tower, and you do not want to give Jax alone time on a tower. Oh, he's actually going to opt to recall. There's no TP threat. He could actually stay for a little bit longer. I guess he's afraid of the Veigar roam up, even though Veigar has chosen to reset. Going for the safer alternative. Well, on his way to Triforce completion too. Veigar does have a solid amount of AP too. GLP is also complete. How much AP is he sitting at? 203. Pretty good for 11 minutes in. The only thing important for him really is just hit enemy champions land stop. The arrow misses, but the Puke does not. Veigar gets caught out by several ultimates, but Ashe gets grabbed over the wall, and Sett gets free time with her, but she flashes over the wall, and she is safe for now. Sett, he needs to run away. He's gonna get caught out. Face break, no, Showstopper once again grabbing onto the immune Olaf. He doesn't slam the Olaf back, but he brings the damage with him, so he actually kills off the Ashe, but he dies himself in response. And now 3 people on red team trying to run for the hills. Blue team chasing in, flash hook, grabbing back the Olaf. Olaf might be the next victim, but Darius taking so much damage, he's actually going to die! And now blue team is running out of damage! Miss Fortune, not enough to 1v3. Red team turns it around with a 3 for nothing. Oh, they thought they had the damage to kill him, but they did not. Darius just got free hit on by the Malzahar and Senna and dies. He is nowhere near as tanky as he thinks he is too. Oh boy. 2-5 now is his scoreline. And he leaves the game. Okay. Okay. Alright. Every time someone leaves a game, there's always a game that there's a mini game that everybody plays. It's called Did He DC? And it's a contextual judgment. You just look at how hard they were feeding were the most recent events and judge whether or not it was a DC or a rage quit. And based on what just happened, it certainly doesn't look like a DC. But here's hoping he can come back. But now blue team has to play a 4v5 for a while. They were already so far behind in gold lead, and now they have an even bigger deficit to contend with. Yep. This is the... Senna is actually surprisingly rich. She has wait, she's leading the team in net worth. Wow, okay. I'd expect at least the Jax to be worth a little more than her, but turns out no. She is just creaming everybody else in terms of total net worth department. Last time I harbored, that was 6666 total gold. Not something you see every day. Now blue team has to contend with the prospects of a 4v5 and a terrifyingly fed red team. What can they do against this situation? Malzahar feeling bold. He's actually going to go in and actually take away the blue buff. Blue team is just gonna swing around, but they run face first into a Jax. Jax cannot leave strike out of the zoo. He's getting locked in the cage. But Blitzcrank is so low, he's gonna be the first victim. Set gets puked on and gonna get dropped immediately by the backline. The bullet time not gonna find too much damage. Olaf runs on the Veigar and Memphis next. She's opted for the Xpeke kiting strategy, standing still, facing down a guy with an axe. Not necessarily the best way to fight someone, not even attempting to retreat back to her base. This game does appear to be over in about 20 seconds from now with a landslide defeat from seemingly an innocuous CODs. And this game is not lost. Up until recent events happen, now it's pretty much lost. Because this goal lead is deceptive. It's actually about 13,000 gold lead 15 minutes in, which is almost 1,000 per minute. Just because Darius is no longer in the game, you have to subtract like 5,000 or 5,000-ish from the lead away. And that just makes it so much worse. Almost 1,000 lead a minute. Insurmountable. Set is gonna get arrowed out, the stun, the CCR landing. He's gonna try to turn around. Haymaker, not enough. He doesn't get it up in time. MF does have to run away, but the hook grabs back the Ashe. Ashe gets taken down for her 6th death this game. She's actually feeding horribly. It's just that you don't even notice it because the rest of her team is shining like stars. Veigar is still leading this game, well, almost leading this game in CS, which is just cruel by this point. There's nothing a Veigar can do when the rest of your team is just like that. It's just disaster zone. It's a disaster zone all over. Blitzcrank, the next victim of this game, he too is going to choose to leave. Where does that put the goal lead now? Well, that's gonna put the goal lead at a solid. Let's see. Quick math. Solid 16,000. No, 18,000. If we subtract 9,000 away from the blue team lead. So now it is officially over 1,000 gold lead a minute. This game cannot possibly get any worse without Blitzcrank. However, they make picks. The cage itself is not going to be enough. The Haymaker true damage cone does find the Olaf for the 3rd time this game. Just does not work like that. Showstopper cannot grab a screaming Olaf. And now in a full-on 3v5, Malzahar getting free time. Rift Herald 2 gets summoned. Veigar uses his flash. Oh, this game cannot possibly go any more downhill, can it? It's like a car crash. It's awful, but you can't just look away. You gotta keep watching to see what happens. The red team just got it must be Thanksgiving. They're thanking the Lord for some free MMR right now. Veigar trying to solo the world, but Veigar can only really do so much in this situation. Shelly is still alive. Nope. Shelly dies, but 1 turret remaining. Olaf has to flash away. He doesn't have Ragnarok up quite yet, but it's not like it matters. The game is over. Set still trying. Bless his heart. He wants the Ashe, but the cone gets dodged out point blank. Ashe gets slow. Will one more tower shot finish it? It does. Ashe, even when it's almost impossible, finds a way to still die to blue team. But the Nexus open and exposed. That's gonna be all she wrote. There's no mercy. There's only victory. And the game is over. Just like that. I'm so glad that after like a week's break, this is the game I cast. This is just a perfect use of my time, honestly. Wow. Wow.